Hi guys, how are you doing? I hope that you're doing fine. I am doing okay and I am here. It's been a while. I haven't done recording, but now I am here. I've been like caught up, like doing a lot of stuff. Like I told you guys, I'm preparing to go back to school, but now like I've slowed down a little bit, so it's time to come back to the studio and do what I love doing. So this is Charities Babu USA, your number one channel. I am here to answer your questions and I am here to talk about another different topic that I'm going to talk about that I feel like I can talk about it because I'm a parent and I have kids and my kids go to school, so I'm going to talk about that. But before that, this is Charities Babu USA, your number one channel. First of all is to thank you guys for subscribing to my channel, for watching my videos, for commenting, for giving my videos a thumbs up. You guys are awesome. I really, really appreciate you. And I also want to talk to my new subscribers. Welcome, welcome, welcome to this channel. And just a short overview of me. My name is Charity Nganga, and this is my YouTube channel. I talk about US. I talk about like how you can successfully immigrate to the US. Like an issue with the router that is device. My whatever that is talking. It's my let me disconnect it. Oh, that's technology. Sorry for that interruption. So I was talking about myself and why I do this channel. This is for you who is new and has joined this channel. I do this because I came here with a DV lottery and I have been living here for 7 years. I'm a US citizen. I am a parent. I am a wife, and I have successfully been able to do all those things. I also go to school, and I'm just getting ready to go to school next year. So guys, I know that you can come here and be successful. And if you know tips, what I do here is that I just give tips on how I came to the US, what I found, what I did, like how you can, as a new person, you can maybe be successful, and what you can do. You just need like to borrow some tips, because like I said, when I was coming to the US, I did not know much. There was not much that I knew about coming to the USA. But since now I've lived here, I've seen and I've known, like, you know, I have like a tip, as one or two things that I can tell you about US of the A. Now, let's go to the topic. Now, there was this person who was asking me about if they have been sent a letter to go from KCC to go and book the appointment. They have the appointment ready. So they were asking me if they need to cancel it or they need to accept it. Now, when you have been sent for your second notification from KCC and your interview has been set, the best thing for you is to go ahead and go for the interview, because you find that unless it is extenuating circumstances, like things that cannot be stopped, I would advise someone to go for that interview, because what happens is that when you postpone, sometimes the date that they have next that they can give you is always far away. So it's always good to be prepared. When you have won the green card, do everything that you are they have asked you to do, so that by the time the second notification letter comes for you to be invited to go to KCC, then you are able to go for your interview, because it is best like to do it as soon as they call you to go for your interview, because you do not want to be delayed or whatever. And you know, it's all about money. You know, you can say that I am not gonna go this time, and maybe I will go next year when I get money or whatever time, but you don't have that money. I told you guys that you have to always think about saving in whatever that you are doing. You have to have something. So by the time that they call you for the interview, you better go for the interview and get the visas, and be deciding that it is one person who is coming to the US and they are going to come and get the other people, or they will send fare to the other people to come later, because that one works. So I hope that we are clear on that. Now, today I want to talk about schools. Because for those who have kids, some of you have been asking me what kind of schools are here, or like the primary school, the boarding schools, and all that stuff. And that is what I want to talk about. But before I go there, I just want to, just as an individual, I just want to pass my condolences to those people who lost their family members in that tragic accident on the road. I just, you know, I just feel for them. I know that they were going for a for a happy day, but it ended up in a tragic accident. I just feel sorry, and it's good just to remember those people and to pray for our Lord, just to receive them and to keep them in a better place. Now, as a parent, like I told you guys that when I came here in the US, I had 2 children, and I have had 2 more children, so I have 4 now. You find that we have different kind of schools, and you decide on where you are going to take your kids. Now, I know that most African systems, they like most people, like the generation, like people who have like kids my age, maybe they have 10, 15, 7, they tend to be taking their kids to boarding schools. Before I was living in Kenya, that was happening a lot, that everybody wanted to take their kids to boarding school. But you find that when you come here in the US, parenting in the US is very different. It's very, very different. And every decision that you are making for your children, you have to involve them. You have to tell them, even if it is that 5-year-old, you have to tell them, this is the school that you are going to, and this is what we are going to do. Like you always have to be explaining whatever that you're doing. It's not like the African way that the parent just wakes up and decides this is what they are going to do and they do it. No, it doesn't work like that here. Here you have to be in so much communication with your children, because the system here is a little bit different. It's not like, like in Africa, what the parent says is what goes. No, here is the other way around. Yes, you will make your rules, but you have to explain about those rules. You have to explain, this is what we need to do, or 1, 2, 3, 4. So, for me, when I came in, I decided to take my children to a private school. And first of all, I had taken them to a public school, but I chose a private school because when we came in, I remember when you're coming from Kenya, you're coming here in the US, sometimes you do not have good transportation. So I was having that hardship of transportation because I did not have a car. But where we went to have an apartment, opposite there was a church. There was a Catholic church. I am a Catholic. So that is where we started going to church. And when I went to that church, I found out that there was a school in there. So I was like, because it's just across the road, I am going there and I am going to request if I can enroll my kids in that private school. And that is what I did. Unfortunately, I found this nice, wonderful priest that accepted my children, and my children were able to go to that school. And, and that was it. That's how it happened. So, and then from there, my son, when he finished primary school, it's called 8th grade, he went still to a private high school, but it's a Catholic high school that he went to. So that was like what made me to go to take my kids to a private school. Now, let us look at different kinds of schools, because I've after some time I've taken there's another child that I have taken to a public school, so I still know much about the public schools. So you decide. Now, you find that when you come here, if you decide to take your child to a public school, they do not need much. You do not even need to have any notification to go wherever they were going to school to go and take to that school. No, they don't need all that. What you need to do is go. It depends with the years. The first thing that you have to do is that like I have a daughter who is 5 years old, and she's in kindergarten right now. You find that here, if your child does not turn 5 years old before August the 30th, they cannot be in kindergarten. They will be in the lower class, the pre-K. Because here it goes with years. And the school year starts in August. So if they do not, if that August they do not turn 5 years old, they cannot be in kindergarten. They have to be in pre-K. So that is one thing that you have to put in mind. And another thing is that you have to put in mind is that those children, when you come with them, when they are little, the pre-K ones, they do not go to school the full day. It doesn't matter whether you're going to take them to a private school or whether you're going to take them to a public school. That one does not matter. They will go to school for only 3 hours. It can be from 9 to 11, 9 to 11:30. Yeah, 9 to 11:30, or maybe it can be in the afternoon from 2 to 4:30. And then you go and pick them. Actually, it's like 2.5 hours. That's the time that they go to school. So you have to adapt to that system, because that is something that I have done with my second born and my third born, and I'm going to do it again with my last born. Now, that one, we are done with that. Now, so you will decide whether you will take them to a public school or a private school. Now, it depends on you, because you find that if you go to a private school, of course, you will pay more. But being maybe you are a member of that church or whatever, you find that there is always some stuff that is reduced because you are a member of that church. But of course, you have to go and work in the church, do activities, and be active in the church for like to give back to the church. But you still have to pay school fees, which will be more than what you would be paying for a public school. So you will decide, depending on you, where you wanna take your schools, your kids. You will decide, depending, maybe you want to take them. For me, I decided because I was born up in a Christian family, so I was like, my kids, I want them to go to a school whereby at least they can learn something about God. I really believe like a good foundation would be based on Christianity, because that's what I was born, that's what I know, and I opted to send my kids there. Now, if you want to take your kids to a public school, it is still okay. You can take them to a public school, but you find that you don't pay a lot of money there. It's not much, and you do not pay monthly. Maybe in a term, they will tell you like maybe a whole term, a whole semester, that 3 months, maybe you'll be paying like maybe less than $100. I would say like that, less than $100. And of course, the kids, there is an advantage. If you take your kids to a public school, is that they have free school bus, free transportation, whereby your kids will be picked in the morning, they will be taken to school, and they will be brought back home in the evening. So that is an advantage. But when you take them to a private school, it is different, because that transportation is not there. So you have to pick them from school, and you have to take them to school. So you have to look at that. Another thing is that if you have a child with special needs, because we have those kids who have special needs, the best place to take them is a public school, because public school has all the resources. It has all the resources. They have everything. I'm not saying that their private schools do not have stuff. They do, but public schools are more equipped by the government. Like they have everything there that is not, you will not find in a private school. So you find that if you have a child who has special needs, you find that if they need extra help in class, if they need maybe they are having difficulty in reading, because sometimes they might have difficulty in reading, because you know that we are coming from a different language. We have our mother language, we have Swahili or any other, maybe French or whatever, depending on the part of Africa that you're coming from. And then that child is coming in to a society that is English speaking. So you find that sometimes they might have difficulty whereby they might need extra help in English, in languages. So that one, for them to have that extra teacher, you find that one you will find it in a government school, but that one you might not find it in a private school. So it works like that. You find that if your children are more needy, I would advise someone to take them to take their kids to a public school. So that is like one advantage that I know, that even if it's something like they need to be assessed by a certain specialist. You find that public schools, they hire specialists that can assess kids, and they know that this child is having this problem, and this is how they can be helped in a certain school. So that one is an advantage that you should be looking at, especially with our children, our African children. Sometimes they will not, especially the low ones, the younger ones who have not gotten exposed. Because like when I look at my two children, my son was in 8th grade. He didn't have a difficulty, because already he had gone to school and learned English. So he knew English, so he didn't have any difficulty. But you find that my other one only knew Swahili and a little bit of my language. So you find that they will struggle. They will get it. Yes, they will get it. But you find that you will see like they are struggling. Although kids get it very fast, but you find that at the beginning you will always see that before they catch up with the others who are starting to speak English from day one, you find that there is always that disparity. So you find that for me, I would advise someone to go to a public school. Although there's a disadvantage in a public school, whereby you find that when you take your child to a public school, what will happen is that if you like we are Christian oriented and all that religion stuff, you find that you are not going to find it in a public school. And it is not that they don't believe in God. They do believe in God, but you find that there's a lot of diversity, because there's people, there's Catholics, there's Muslims, there's Christians, there is everyone, there's Hindus, everybody, there's like all the denominations, all the religions that you know about, they are there. They are Muslims, they're Christians, they're Hindus, like all of them. So you find that they cannot be teaching religion, because it would be like discriminative, because you find that if they say that they are going to lean on one part, then where are they going to take the other children who are not Christian? If maybe they say that they are going to lean on Islamics, where are they going to take the children who are for Islam? You see what I mean? If they say that they are going to rely on Hindu, where are they going to take the other kids? So for them to make these kids equal, because what a public school is doing is that it is bringing equality among every child, you know. So they are not able to teach religion. So that's the only thing that you are not going to find there. But you find that they have education. Education is the same whether it's a public school or it's a private school. It's the same. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about is a boarding school. Now, boarding schools are very expensive. They are very expensive, and most of the time you find that the people who take their kids to boarding school are like those people who have a lot of money. Of course, the education there is, I would say, like it's high tech, because you know it's for rich and whatever. But for me, what I believe is that it doesn't matter, and that is how I grew up. I grew up knowing that even if, you know, when we were growing up, like schools like Starehe, boys centers, school like Limuru Girls, like they were the high tech schools, like, you know, Loreto, those schools were like, if you went to those national schools, they would say that like you would be the best, but that is not the case. You find that we also have kids who went to day school and they are doing very well. So it all depends on how you take your education as an individual, or how you like as a child or whatever, or you have oriented them, or what they choose, because sometimes it is their choice to decide on, you know, the little ones you can control. But you find that when they grow older, yes, you will monitor what they are doing in their education, but at the same time, you don't have like 100% control. You will monitor, especially when they are in the lower classes. But when they go to colleges or whatever, you are not going to be able to monitor, because you find that here, when kids go to college, unless they give you permission to see their grades, you are not allowed to. You are not allowed to see their grades unless they agree. They give you that permission. You cannot call a college and say that you need to know the grades of your son or your daughter. No, you are not allowed to see that information, and you are the parent. Unless your child has signed a form to give you permission to access his grades, you are not able to see that. So you find that there is that difference. I know that one is very different in Africa, because in Africa you'll be like, I'm the one who is paying fees, I have to see it. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't work like that, because when they go to college, they are adults, and they are free to make a decision. You know, when I went up for a meeting for my son when he was going to college, you know, I was surprised. I was like, oh, I need permission to see my child's grades. But that's how it is. You have to have permission for you to be able to see your child's grades. Because they are in college and they are adults and they can make their own decisions. So that's another thing that like you need to know. So when I talk about a boarding school, in the American system, I wouldn't want to take my kids to a boarding school. And this is because you only have a very short time with your kids. And you want to see those milestones when they are growing up. You want to be able to know them. You want to be able to know know them as individuals. But you find that the American life is very different, because you are either at work or you are either at home. Those are two things. You are either at work or you are either at home in your house sleeping. Because even if you are going for social life, it's not going to be like all the time that you are going for social life. No, it's not. You find that here, there is a lot of restriction and there is a lot of individualism. So for me, you find that boarding schools are very expensive. And before you take your kids to boarding school, you have to sit them down and tell them why you are taking them to a boarding school. And you do not want to take your kids to a boarding school, and then when they grow up, they will be like, you didn't care about us. You sent us away to go to school away so that you could have your time. So now they won't have time for you. They will think that you did not want them. Because I told you that American kids, the way they are brought up, they are very opinionated, and they can, they are taught to express themselves and to stand up for themselves. So for me, I would feel like they would feel like you're getting rid of them when you are taking them to a boarding school. So why spend all that money? Why not just let them go to school, work on your schedule, and know that this is the time that I can go to work, this is the time that my kids can go to school, and this is the time that we can spend as a family. Because you find that when the kids are growing up, they really need to have their parents. But when they are older, you find that they engage in other things, so you will not see them more. So for me, and being in the US, although someone might differ with me, it's okay for you if you want to decide you want to take your child to a boarding school. But according to what I have seen in those 7 years that I have been here, the best thing is to either you will decide whether you are going to take them to a private school or whether you are going to take them to a public school. You will decide. You will decide. Of course, if you're taking them to a private school, of course, you have to know that you have to make the payments and all that stuff. But you find that in a public school, it's a little bit easier, and I've said that they have more resources than private schools. So you have to weigh all that and know where to take your kids to school. But there is nowhere that you're going to take your kids to school and they will be sent away. They are not going to be sent away. Of course, when you take your kids to school, there's something else that you have to look at, which is, it's a shame to talk about it, but I have to talk about it because it's reality. There's something that is called bullying. Something that is called bullying, whereby you find that your kids might be bullied because maybe, people are different. I know there's some people who like feel like maybe people of a different skin color do not belong or whatever. They might face something like that. Or maybe just, kids just hating on one another, because it doesn't mean that it's because you are of a different skin color that you will be hated on. No, you find that even kids, you can take them even to a black school and you find that they can still be bullied or whatever. So what you should do as a parent is that you should always be like a friend to your kids, that your kids are not afraid to come and tell you what's going on in school. You have to be knowing what's going on. Are they being bullied? Is something is someone demeaning them? Is someone like telling them bad things? Is someone trying to shame them or whatever? You have to be on top of that, because you find that you do not want to take your child to a school whereby they are going to be depressed and they are not going to enjoy their childhood. So you always have to be on the lookout for that. For bullying, it's very, very important. And you find that bullying is not only in school, it's even in social media, because you find that even like me, I'm doing YouTube here, I get bullied by people and I'm an adult. You find that someone is just making a comment there and I'm like, oh, that's bullying. So you find that people bully each other. They do bully each other. And even something like, when I look at, I was looking at this lady who is who started rapping, and this wife of Bahati who started rapping, and everybody is just talking bad things about her. That is bullying. They're trying to bully her. She's doing a good thing. She's trying to rise her star up, and instead of people just giving her some space to do what she feels is good, because you should always have freedom to do what you feel like is good. And if instead of someone if you don't have what I say is that if you don't have something good to say, you just shut up. You don't have to say anything. So you find that instead of Kenyans seeing that this is a woman who is trying to make her career, they are just trying to put her down. But for me is that if I was her, I would just continue with what I am doing, because you find that that makes her happy. She's making money. Then that's it. If it makes you happy and you can make money out of it, then go for it. So you find that that's a kind of bullying. So you do not want your kids to go through something like that, because it happens in social media. It can happen in school. You have always to be on the lookout about that. So you, as a parent, you are going to decide, am I going to take my kids to a private school? Am I going to take them to a public school? Where am I going to take them? Another thing, you find that both public and both at the private school, you find that there is lunch, kids eat in school, but you find that if your income is very low, you have low income, and like I told you guys, I've mentioned several times that your income depends on the family, the household number, how many you are in the family, and how much you make. How much do you make in a paycheck? Or they will ask you maybe for pay stubs for 3 months or 2 months. and then that they will decide. So you find that in both schools, whether it's a public school or whether it's a private school, there's something called reduced lunch, whereby depending on your income, what you have submitted, that is your income for the whole household. For the man, what he gets, the husband, the wife, even if they are kids who are adults and they are working, you have to submit their income too. It doesn't fall so much on the child who is working, but they like to know that there's someone else who is working there, who is maybe not like 100% dependent on the parents, although they are still dependent on the parents because they are living there and whatever, but you find that they still can do something for themselves. They always want to know all that information, so that you find that when they look at that, you find that you can be, you're paying for lunch, but you're paying like something like maybe like $3 or $5 or whatever, like very, very little money for your kids for lunch. So you find that there's that is a lot of help. So all that comes into play when you are looking for a school for your children. But you find that you should not be like, what I want you guys to do is that when you're coming here, is that you are willing to learn new, because this is going to be new for you guys. It's not going to be like Africa, whereby you wake up in the morning, you are like, I'm not going to take my kids to a public school because public school do not teach. Now here public school teach, because you find that every job, I told you guys, it doesn't matter what you're doing, every job that you're doing, even if you're sweeping, you're a janitor, you collect trash or whatever, you have to do it to your best. Here every work is valued and every employee is valued. So you find that it doesn't matter where they go to school, they will still be taught. So it is gonna be the choice is gonna be theirs. Are they gonna study, or you as a parent, how are you gonna push them to the right direction so that they can embrace what they are doing? So that is what I have for you for school. So do not be like come here and say like public school in Africa, there are so many kids or whatever. No, here you find that even my daughter's school, you find that in their class there are not very many. Actually, it's a new school. They have a lot of space, and even they have space. They have space outside, even in corridors where they have chairs and they have tables, very nice tables, and very nice places where they can go sit and study. And you find that in public schools, there is also another advantage, because every child has a laptop. Those laptops, every child has them. Like my daughter who goes to a public school, she has her own laptop. I didn't have to buy her laptop. She has her own, whereby she comes with it home. She does her homework. You see what I mean? You find that the only thing that you have to buy when they are going to school, of course, you'll buy them supplies, you'll buy them files, you'll buy them books for writing, you'll buy them colors, you'll buy them pens. But when it comes to textbooks, you don't have to buy all that, because the schools provide all that stuff. And if it's something for reading, the books for reading or whatever, you find that you can go to the library, you go and borrow a book in the library, and then you come, they read the book, and then you return it back. The system has been laid that these kids, it doesn't matter whether they are going to a private school, or whether they are going to a boarding school, or whether they are going to a public school, that these kids can succeed. They can succeed unless they do not want to. So as a parent, you should not be like so much worried, where are my kids going to school, or what will I do, or is it very expensive? No, it is always affordable. I told you guys that kids here in the US, they are treated differently. It's not like the way you find that in Africa, that they dump. I was looking at this story that happened, and it was unfortunate because it was in where I lived in Kayole Estate, whereby there was this teacher who hit a child. I saw that in the social media. I was like, what? And then when they hit the child and they knew that the child was unconscious, they took the child to the hospital, and by the time they went to the hospital, that child was dead. And then they went back to school, and they bribed the other kids so that they could not say the whole story. If something like that happens here in the US, oh my gosh. If something happened like that, you harm someone's child, you could be in so much trouble, like you could be in so much trouble. Because here you find that corporal punishment is it's not allowed. Just like the way I tell you guys that you cannot just hit people the way you want, you cannot just be beating up your wife the way you want. It's the same case with kids. You have to take care of them. You have to talk to them. There are ways of disciplining kids, different kinds of ways of disciplining them. And if you show them reason, if you talk to them, and you show them every action that you're doing has these consequences, that you will be able to come into terms, and they will get into that system of whereby you will be able to bring them up well. So when you're coming here in the US, what I would tell you is that have an open mind and know that this is what I am going to get. So what I need to do is to embrace what is there and learn more, inquire from the schools, inquire and see, and have pros and cons. Think about, me, do I want to take my kids where they can be taught about religion? Do I want to take maybe my child is having a little bit of struggling, do I want to take them to a place where they can get help? All that falls into all the dynamics, but as a parent, you will decide on where to take your children. But you find that it doesn't matter, every school that you show up, everywhere that you show up, your kids will always be welcome in that school, and they will be able to study. So I hope that this video is going to help you as you prepare and as you wait to see if you're going to win the lottery, and as even you wait even to apply for the other visas that I have talked about. So kindly watch this video, give me feedback, ask questions, and I will be able to answer them. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly subscribe to this channel. And until next time, thank you and God bless you.